Okay, hi everybody. This is Joseph P. Farrell with news and views from the Nefarium. One day late, actually. It is Friday, August 10th in the early afternoon. I am sorry about that. I had something of an emergency come up on Wednesday that took me out of town and overnight, and I didn't get back until very early Thursday morning after being up all night, and I was too exhausted, let's just put it that way. And anyway, we are having a members vid chat tonight for members of the Giza Death Star community. So we're looking forward to that. And I have an unusual bit of news I want to comment on. I was sent a YouTube video by a member of the website. We'll just call him Max, all right? And he sent me this YouTube video about the Mars rover Curiosity. And of course, on the video, they show the NASA website article that the video is commenting on. And I thought, okay, this is kind of significant. So I went online looking for the exact thing that was in this little YouTube video, and I found it. And and I will post the NASA address so that you can go online and look at this article for yourself online. But it has a headline that's kind of misleading. It says, Memorial image taken on Mars on September 11th, 2011. In other words, exactly 10 days after 10 years, I should say, after 9/11. And this is how it reads, and pardon me for reading this to you. Dateline, Pasadena, California. Quote, a view of a memorial to victims of the September 11th, 2001 attacks on the World Trade Center towers was taken on Mars yesterday on the 10th anniversary of the attacks. The memorial, made from aluminum recovered from the site of the Twin Towers in weeks following the attacks, serves as a cable guard on a tool on NASA's Mars exploration rover Opportunity and bears an image of the American flag. The view combining exposures from two cameras on the rover is online, and then it gives the address. The memorial is on the rover's rock abrasion tool, which was being made in September 2001 by workers at Honeybee Robotics in Lower Manhattan, less than a mile from the World Trade Center. Opportunity's panoramic camera and navigation camera photographed the tool on September 11, 2011 during the 2713th Martian day of the rover's work on Mars. Opportunity completed its 3-month prime mission on Mars in April of 2004 and has worked for more than 7 years since then in bonus extended missions. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, a division of the California Institute of Technology in Pasadena, manages the Mars Explorer rover project for the NASA Science Mission Directorate, Washington. All right, I'm going to stop reading there because there are a number of things that really intrigue me about this. And the YouTube video, in all honesty, mentions this too, but it has to be mentioned here. Number one, why was a memorial made on the Opportunity rover from aluminum from the World Trade Center? Now, this in itself smacks, as the YouTube video points out, and here I have to agree with the YouTube video, this smacks of the idea of a baptism by blood. You consecrate in certain kinds of Western practice of ceremonial magic. And by Western, I'm distinguishing Western esoteric tradition from Vedic or Chinese or any of that. So in standard Western esoteric tradition, you oftentimes consecrate a magical amulet or object or talisman, what have you, by dipping it in some sort of blood. All right? And oftentimes these objects are metal. So this to me is a very telltale sign that this memorial, just by association with 9/11, is, so to speak, dipped in blood. All right, it is an occult, it is a ritual element of magic. Now, the reason why I'm pointing that out is because this is under the control of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Now, for those of you in the know, be patient with me while I explain the connection here for those who are not. The Jet Propulsion Laboratory was associated, of course, with the late Jack Parsons, all right? And in fact, JP, some suspect was named that way. The Jet Propulsion Laboratory was named that way in order to memorialize its founder, who was Jack Parsons. Now, Jack Parsons, in turn, was heavily involved not only in the occult, but precisely in Western ceremonial magic practice of the occult. He was involved in sex magic rituals, he was involved with Aleister Crowley, and so on and so forth. So in other words, you have yet another very specific ritual connection to precisely the same kind of occult and esoteric practice that we find alluded to with this Martian memorial. Now, the second question we have to ask is, why memorialize 9/11 on a Mars lander? And this is where I think it gets very speculative, obviously. And I would also aver very quote-unquote creepy. Mars, of course, is named after the Roman god of war, Ares, Erechal in some cases, Heracles in Greek, or if you prefer the Babylonian version of Erechal, Nergal, all right, the god of war, the god, incidentally, also of the underworld. So we have two classical associations within mythology, and the further we press the association back from Rome to Greece to Babylon. With Rome, of course, we have the obvious association of Mars with the god of war, with war itself. But we press it back to Babylon, we also have that association not only to war, but with the god of the underworld. So why take a consecrated object like the aluminum from the trade towers at New York City from 9/11 all the way to Mars? Well, the second reason is that in a certain sense, you would be offering sacrifice to the god of war, to the god, the superintending god of that planet. You're making a statement, you're making or sending a message to whoever for whatever purpose, and it's a very, very occult message. So I point this out because this is a kind of confirmation, a loose kind of confirmation, but yet a very specific kind of confirmation that you have some sort of ritual agenda going on in NASA. This has certainly been pointed out by other people, not just by me. But this one is specific in that you do have this allusion to the practice of dipping a consecrated object into blood, and then you send it off to another planet and take pictures on 9/11. And then, this is the really interesting thing. This was obviously something that has been up there for a fairly long period of time. But the real point of this is that NASA releases this story on September 11th, 2011, on the 10th anniversary. So in other words, yet another message is being sent not only to whoever's out there, but to people down here. So this could also function as a kind of psychological operation. It could function as a kind of distraction. See, looking at all this ritual occult stuff that we're doing. And it keeps people busy down here. And it also affects a kind of social engineering purpose, that there are deep, dark occult powers at work, and they're deeply at work within the space program, and we're helpless and there's nothing that we can do about it. So I suspect there's something very significant going on here, not only in terms of ritual agendas, but also at a very deep level in terms of social engineering as well. So anyway, that is my news and views from the Nefarium for Friday, August 10th, 2010. Thank you, Max, for bringing that to my attention. This is very interesting. Something to watch. So it makes the suspicion meter go into the red zone. So maybe we have to start digging around now to find out what interesting things might have been taken up with Curiosity, as it has recently landed on Mars. Anyway, take care, everybody. I'll see all the members tonight in the members vid chat, and we'll see you on the flip side, everybody. God bless.